Hello, welcome back to Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. This is Erin. So, the last two podcasts that I have done, I've had a lot of people reaching out to me and, just saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry what you're going through. And I want to give you a hug or offering me kindness. And I just want to say that I appreciate that. Thank you. But also, I am working on something really deep within myself, an abandonment wound that is going to help me change all the things about my relationships and how I'm showing up. And I'm like I'm in the thick of it, but I'm sort of coming out on the other side. But there's one or two big boulders that I feel like I need to move. And so I am doing a retreat actually in Sarasota and, kind of coming in with all my tools and hopeful to acquire even new tools so that I can share that with you on this podcast, my journey. In the meantime, I have made a lot of progress. How do I know? Because I have just like people coming up to me randomly, just like, oh wow, you're so beautiful. Or I'll say, do I know you? Or like they'll just kind of like sniff around me and like ask me questions, and I can tell they kind of just want to be near my energy. And I lend like what I'm thinking about that is that it's because of this inner work that I'm doing. I'm sort of raising my frequency, raising my vibe, and people are drawn to it, right? Because it's like science. It's like, if there's it's like something that's appealing to you, it's like your energy is going to draw you there, some sort of lightness. But also, and this is part of the topic of my podcast today, what you do not heal within you, you are going to keep drawing to you. The universe will keep sending it your way, whether it is from past abuse or, in my case, abandonment wounds. If you do not heal that within you, you will draw relationships to you that will be a mirror, so that you can work on that, heal that, sometimes repeat the lesson. So considering that, I have come up with a 4-part protocol that I am using that is really helping me to work through my abandonment wound issues. The first part is identification. You have to identify what the wound is to know what you're working with. The second part is acceptance. Like you have to accept that you have it and not resist it. Acceptance does not mean complacency. It doesn't mean, okay, I'm accepting this, it won't change. It's quite the opposite. By accepting it, you're not fighting it anymore. It's like that resistance is gone. You're like, okay, this is the thing I have to deal with. And then you can step into creator mode, which is, in the healing aspect. After accepting, regulating is important. I'm going to show you some neurovascular holds. And then after that, we do the healing bit, which is using the tools. But if you don't follow those steps and you're just like, I just want to get rid of this as quick as possible, you're not going to have the necessary intimacy with whatever the wound is. And so it's going to just keep repeating because it needs to be heard and understood. Right? Does it make sense? Hopefully. So I have known that I've had like a sort of fearful avoidant pattern, but it's interesting because I like closeness and I like love, and I'm very loving and I'm very like cuddly and sweet and touchy-feely and very expressive of my emotions. So I'm not a typical fearful avoidant, but I do have one characteristic or trait that would make me slide into that category, which is I run away. So, which is interesting because in a lot of aspects of my life, I don't run away. Having a studio for 11 years, having a podcast for even longer than that, writing 2 books, getting a black belt, 2nd degree black belt. Like, obviously I have stick-to-itiveness and I have tenacity to where I can start a journey and finish it. I have, business relationships that I've had, like with my studio manager, who I absolutely adore, Laura. Like I've been with her since 2017. My head marketing person, Priya, like I've been with her for a while, and like both of those people are really close to me and good friends as well. So obviously I have the capacity for deep and meaningful friendships, Romantically though, there's some things there that would like keep me in a situation that isn't necessarily good for me, and or blocks to where, like, I guess if that person is showing up in the way that I need, like, I would sabotage it in some way. So it seems to show up particularly in a romantic situation, romantic dynamic, which I think is the case for a lot of people, and that's why these things can go like undetected. So for me, my identification is that I have an abandonment wound. Doesn't define me, doesn't mean it's the be all end all, because I can heal it. So first thing is first, so like really getting deep as far as the identification. If you need to reach out to a guru or hire a coach or something to help you identify these things, then you can. You can also use one of my tools called the CLEAR formula, which is going to help you to look at your thoughts, see what your actions are based on the thoughts, and what results you get from that. And before the actions, you get to know what the emotion is and kind of sit with that, be intimate. So you have to understand yourself from the logical level, from the emotional, from the taking action standpoint, as well as what results are happening in your life. And that takes a lot of like deep and intimate work, time with yourself, slowing down, breathing, being still, asking questions, and feeling. The second part of my method is to accept. That is a part I think I had been skipping over. I went to my spiritual mentor, Franny Hoffman. This was a couple months back. And she's like, honey, you have an abandonment wound. Because when my ex left, I felt like I was dying. And I was like, no, I don't. I don't have an abandonment wound. Are you kidding me, Franny? Shush. And she's like, no, you have it. And I was like, I had to kind of like fight her a little bit about it. I guess that was my ego being protective over this wound. It's like, oh no, she found out. Now she can heal it. Oh. But when I asked a few more questions, I was like, damn it. It's in there. Identifying it and then accepting it allows us to be compassionate, because I know where that came from. It came from my mother. My mom would hop from relationship to relationship, but she needed like a man in her life because she was not set up financially. She had kids, and she probably needed also that emotional piece, which I might need a little bit from my partners too, but I think in a mostly healthy way. But that abandonment wound would keep me in situations that weren't necessarily right for me. And even if the situation was conducive, then I would find a way to make it not conducive. So the abandonment wound can show up in different ways. It's not just necessarily leaving. It can also look like you abandoning yourself in a moment when you need to set boundaries or when you need to stay connected to yourself. So finding, identifying, and then accepting is part of the journey. The third piece is regulating. So it's like when you're tapping into this stuff, or that abandonment wound comes up, or that abuse wound comes up, or the I don't deserve love wound comes up, what it does is it takes over your nervous system, and that's when we make bad choices. And so something that I've discussed on this podcast before, but I'm bringing back because it's in the realm of somatics, is neurovascular holds. Having one hand on the back of the head, like how you would hold a baby, and the second hand in the forehead, holding it here, breathing, releasing. It's best to do it laying down, but I'm sitting up, so I'm going to show you. And you do this for about 90 seconds, and as you breathe, you start to bring circulation around the amygdala, the fear center, which helps everything to sort of calm down. And everyone has been held, almost everyone has been held like this. It's like cupping the back of your head. It's like right around your brain stem. So that has a sort of primal, like limbic system effect. And when you can regulate that, then you can go back into the prefrontal cortex and you can make decisions based on, discernment, like mind-body connection, rather than just from like the sort of lizard brain, like, I'm in danger, get me out of here. So these neurovascular holds can be super helpful. There's different ones. One for grief is up here. You can regulate yourself. If you go up a little bit higher on the back of the head and hold the forehead, anxiety. And then anger can be here. Holding for 90 seconds, breathing deep to regulate the nervous system. You can also do somatics, rubbing the body. I've talked a lot about that. You can also still your eyes on a point and breathe. Count your breath. That can also help to regulate. Dancing, jumping around, getting your lymphatic system going can also help you to regulate. The last thing is once you've done all that and you're regulated and you're like, okay, listen, I know what I need to work on. I accept that this is, where I'm at right now. This is my situation. Not shaming, just accepting, like, okay, compassionately, using tools to regulate yourself. So you're regulated. Once you're in that space, then you're ready to do the work. Then you're ready to heal. Then you're ready to pick up my book on Amazon, Journey Through the Dark to Find Light. I have so many tools in there. Then you're ready to journal out and get curious and ask yourself, where did this come from? How is this affecting my life? And then what can I do to heal it? Do I need to do inner child work? Do I need to connect with my inner child? Do I need to process some shame or guilt or emotion around this? There's so many different ways that you can get in there and heal. It's like, what level is it on to? Is it on the emotional level? Is it on the physical level? Is it on like the epigenetic, like past life level? Do I need to hire a coach or a guru to help me get through this? I can tell you that if you are repeating a cycle over and over again and you've been doing it for years and years and you've been working on yourself and you're just stuck, hire a coach, find a guru, because you're worth it. You're worth your own affections. You're worth your own love. You're worth your own time, and you're worth your own money. That's the best thing that you can spend your resources on, because imagine who you would be if you didn't run away from love. Who you would be if you believed in yourself and took calculated risks. Who you would be if you were in your passion and you weren't afraid to show up. You are worth it. And so I wanted to record this podcast. I have a class I'm going to teach, so I'm like wearing all the hats. But to review real quick, identify, find out what your wound is. And if you can't even do that, hire a coach. Hire a coach. You can hire me. I have a couple of openings. You can hire other coaches. Like, find someone that's going to help you with that deep level subconscious work. Second, accept it. Hold in your heart compassionately, gently. Like, recognize that you're human. We all have these wounds. And be willing to get curious about it. Regulate. Find a way to regulate. Those neurovascular holds, super helpful. Chanting, mantra, like I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Deep breaths in and out through the nose, nice and steady. Touching the body, grabbing, squeezing, like jumping, dancing, spinning, whatever you need to do. Getting a hug and breathing through it. And then healing. Rinse and repeat. Keep doing that. Let me know how it goes. I'm here for it. This is my idea of a good time. That's why I've been doing this podcast for, I think, over 12 years now. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you can use these tools. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who's reaching out again. I really, truly appreciate it. And much love to you. Namaste.